The Beldham is a deceptively brilliant horror film. It can be off-putting at times, with some confusing dialogue and awkward exchanges between characters, and much of the film's creepy atmosphere, showcased through shadowy figures, ominous music, and the occasional jump scare, is undermined by the familiar aspects of its plot. That said, thanks to its talented cast and some keen writing from director Angela Gollner, The Beldham manages to be one of the better psychological horror films released this year. The Beldham's premise is initially engaging. When new single mother Harper, played by Katie Parker, agreed to move in with her mother Sadie, Patricia Heaton, to help renovate her home, she had no idea that she'd be also living with her mother's new boyfriend and live-in aide. Everyone seemed welcoming enough, though their fixation with Harper's 6-month-old daughter is a bit odd. Sadie's pained glances, strong rebukes about being overprotective, and her insistence on Harper resting while she takes care of the baby feels disingenuous. Any emphasis placed on postpartum care is laced with deceptive undertones, and that's before Harper notices the mysterious woman in black hovering around her daughter at night.
Well, you know you're too attached. It's not healthy. You don't have to be with her constantly.
Believe it or not, she actually enjoys my company.
Let me take her. I'll put her in the crib.
We're fine.
This unsettling vibe is reinforced by disturbing visuals and sound solid design. It's creepy enough seeing Harper find dead crows in strange places, like the faucet of a bathtub or buried in the wall. But it's the way the somber lighting is used to create eerie shadows that accentuates the disturbing nature of a given scene. The same could be said of the disembodied voices that echo throughout the house, or the odd tapping sounds coming from within its walls. It's enough to drive someone crazy, especially, as in Harper's case, when everyone around her acts like nothing strange is going on.
There's a witch living in the walls? Is that what you're telling me?
I have seen it.
You don't know what you're seeing!
This is most evident with Heaton's believable portrayal of an overbearing Sadie. As a grandmother, it makes sense that she'd want to help guide Harper in her new parental role. It's when Sadie starts to overstep her bounds, however, that her ulterior motives start to surface. And while her daunting mask rarely slips, due to Heaton's subtle displays of compassion when delivering harsh lines during heated arguments, it's rarely apparent that Sadie isn't as innocent as one would hope.
Christine, your baby girl. I could never compete. You'll never not be perfect.
Heaton's commanding presence anchors her depiction of the family matriarch, an aspect that's heightened when played opposite of Parker. Given Harper's struggle with what's perceived to be postpartum psychosis, no one believes her daughter is being haunted by a shadowy figure. It's the conversations that she has with Sadie that prove the most distressing, though. Parker's strong-willed yet exhausted demeanor echoes Harper's frustrated attempts to convince her mother that something is wrong. Essentially, it's Heaton and Parker's on-screen chemistry that provides much of the film's heart. The rest of the Beldham's cast are hit or miss. Emma Fitzpatrick, for instance, does a great job depicting Sadie's caregiver, Bette. As one of the few people who's willing to listen to Harper, she is easily the most agreeable individual living in this spooky house. Fitzpatrick's ability to exude a level of sincerity and warmth envelops every scene she's in. Corbin Bernsen's portrayal of Sadie's boyfriend, on the other hand, doesn't fare as well. That's not to say that Bernsen doesn't do a good job, he just isn't around long enough to be impactful.
I'm gonna leave you two some space.
Thank you.
While The Beldham has a lot going for it, there are some sticking points. Some of the film's horror elements are familiar to a fault. If you've seen Rosemary's Baby, The Babadook, or even Hereditary, you know what to expect. It can be difficult to induce fear when the scares are somewhat predictable. And though much of the dialogue is great, some of the early conversations are downright confusing. There are moments where Harper's wild claims are called into question, not because of some unbelievable sight, but because her words don't match her actions. It's as if the script didn't take into account the events that lead up to a given scene. At least, that's the way it seemed at first. There's a point in The Beldham where the film addresses its inconsistent dialogue in grand fashion, so much so that it even improves upon the borrowed horror elements, coloring all of the strange happenings in a new light. This of course doesn't completely excuse everything, as most of the film's 85-minute runtime is comprised of its aforementioned issues, but the revelations found in the final moments defy initial expectations. As Angela Gollner's directorial debut, The Beldham proves to be a well-crafted film. It wears its inspirations on its sleeves to the point of undercutting the horror, and some of the dialogue and strange encounters will seem confusing for most of its runtime. That said, once the curtains lift and the mystery is solved, the Beldham becomes an entirely new work of art, one that's worth checking out when the film launches in theaters on November 7th.